right, we're gonna make our guitar sing like Mariah Carey today. Why would we do that? Because Mariah has some incredible pipes. And if we learn her licks on slide guitar, we're gonna improve everything that we're able to do. So let's start learning the song right now. All right, so it's kind of a nice way to start learning this because the first melody that we play is pretty simple. I'm going to do it on the B string. I'm gonna try to stay as much on one string at a time as I can. That helps the vocal thing. If you're moving across strings, our vocal cords are just like one range, right? There's a spectrum. So we don't have these, like, we can't press different notes on different strings. So if you go like this, that's more of how we're gonna make it sound like Mariah. So this very first lick, the intro, goes like this. So that repeats, and it's very simple. It's just E, F sharp, G sharp. And one thing that I'm doing, if you know me already, you know that I love the volume pedal. I'm always kind of breathing life into the notes with the volume pedal. It's not a quantified thing. It's just that I have a pretty distorted sound. It's not super distorted, but there's enough there that if I have it full on, you can really hear it. But if I just kind of ease up on the volume pedal just a little bit, sort of gives the notes like a little pillow to land on. Check this out. It's like, I don't know, I think of a pillow or a parachute or something, but it really helps sort of soften the attack of each note. So you can, instead of just going, you can go more like this. So I'm like really, breathing in the notes and out more than if I wasn't using a volume pedal. But so anyway, this very first lick is the first one to practice. If this is hard, just slow it down. I would just go slower between the notes. Right now, in order to get the speed with the sort of runs that we're going to be doing in this video, you need to slow it down and make sure your intonation is there first. So that would mean going like this. Okay, nice and smooth, controlled. We just want every note to sound in tune, in time, and let's just really ease into this. That's plenty to work on at first. If this is sort of uncomfortable for you, just remember that I warned you, slow and steady is gonna win this race. We're gonna be playing way out of tune and just not have it sound like anything good if we don't slow down and take these first steps. Okay, so that's the vocal verse. And the cool thing is that once you learn this verse, it happens again later, okay? So it's a little bit different the second time around, but that's definitely mainly the same exact melody. So the very first thing, we're dealing with a couple of these things where it's funny, when we're playing these runs that go across one string and we're stopping at chord tones or scale degrees along the way, but we're not like playing it like, a lot of the time she's going like this, right? It's like we're playing that 3, 2, 1, mi, re, do, but we're skipping over the re, we're skipping over the second degree, but we hit it. And that's the sort of thing to practice. So this first part of the verse is great to practice really slowly. Right? That's tricky. Remember, we're thinking about intonation first. The notes have to be in tune or else we don't really care. What I'm doing here is I'm breaking it down into, I'm kind of adding the sixth down below the root So at the 2nd fret of the B string, as far as my pitch degrees are concerned with E major, I've got the 3rd, 2nd, and root. And then down at the 2nd fret, I have the 6th. I also have it at the 5th fret on the G string, but like I said earlier, I'm kind of avoiding it as much as I can because I want to get the, I want to get the slide going across the string to get the vocal sound, okay? So this is a great little way to just practice this intro lick. Right? You can hear too with a little bit of vibrato and a little bit of the speed. Like the speed really matters. If you don't go fast enough, it sounds kind of clunky, But so anyway, that's what we're working up towards. Now the first part comes back in a little bit. And now we do this cool little scalar thing where she goes from the root and again faster it's like this. This is where we're really going to be aware of how we touch the string with the slide. You simply can't touch it too hard. None of these runs are going to work. We have to lighten up our touch. That's partly what I want you to work on by working on all these lines. I think that that's a big thing of slide. Getting your left hand comfortable to just how you have to touch the string. Okay, now we go up higher on the B string, and the second part of the melody sounds like this. So now we've got this thing with intonation because we're going from the 3rd to the 4th scale degree. So we're going up a half step. And this is where, man, pitch, pitch, pitch. We need to be really, really on where we play each note here, or else by the 3rd note in the run, we're going to be like wondering what key we're in, or, if we're not really specific about each one. So going from the 3rd to the 4th, make sure your half step is in tune. And then from there up to the B. So that very first part sounds like, and then it comes back down up into the C sharp at the 14th fret. So that so far sounds like, and then here's where the traveling across one string thing really hits home. We go back from 14 to 9 and finish the run up down at 5. So it's like this. So that's just really interesting, and that's a good example of me using the volume pedal to sort of soften that 14 to 9 move. I can even go, if I kind of pull back just a little bit when I'm moving down, it's like that pillow effect that I mentioned earlier. It just sort of softens your attack. It's very vocal-like, at least to me. I think that it sounds great, and it helps us just make a line like, I'm always kind of playing with the volume pedal, and that's how I make it just soft and sound more like we're singing. But that run right there is pretty tough, controlling your pitch and the slide so that that sounds like you know what you're doing. And simply put, just playing your E major scale from E here at the 5th fret on the B string up to the 17th fret, 1 octave up on the B string, that's all I'm really working on here, right? So that would be like this. Those are the notes, we're just using them in Always Be My Baby right now, right? Okay, so then the last part of the melody goes like this. Okay, so there's a little bit of moving across the strings here. We're not only playing everything on one string moving a ton. That definitely, we have to figure out the balance of like traveling across one string and then taking advantage of some of the position-based stuff that's really easy for us when we're playing open E tuned slide guitar licks, right? So I hit this up here like this. B string first. And one of the trickiest things for me that I still work on and focus on every single day is that first slide. I think for me, sliding down is harder than sliding up. So at this point, I'm bringing it up specifically because this little one, that's tough for me. That's the one that I'm kind of working on. I really like it though. I don't want to just be good at one direction. I definitely want to be good at both directions. I'm working on this one. This one has a lot in there for me. And then from 5, the B, down to the E, this one's awesome. Right? And one thing that we haven't talked about too much is this little vocal inflection she has at the very end where she goes. You have to whip that slide up to the 9th fret and back really quick. It's like a pedal steel or something, clicking the button to raise the pitch. It's not like this. There's too much time there. It's more like. Okay, so it's really quick. This last run, I love that. Then the chorus is the last thing, and the chorus goes like this. For me, I think it's easiest to play it by going up to the 14th fret on the E string, the D string, okay, the 4th string, but it's tuned to E. So here's the chorus nice and slow. Okay, so this involves a little bit of right hand muting. Also, we're not just staying on one string. We definitely have to find, the right balance of position based and moving across the strings. But let me just play it nice and slow, starting at the 14th fret on the E string. Okay, so for the chorus, sliding up to the 14th fret on the E string and then back down. Now that's an interesting little one. We have all these sort of like, I just make sure that the distinction between a half step little or a whole step is really strong and that you're specific about it, because in this case, it goes by so quick that it almost wouldn't matter too much if this was a little half step. But we want it to be a whole step. Right? Because this is the note, the C sharp. That's in the E major scale. So that's kind of more the note that we want. Okay, now the very last part of the chorus goes up to the C sharp on the B string. The other thing that we've got going on with E major is C sharp minor, right? Which the bridge of this song goes to, but we can always kind of think C sharp minor. You can always think relative major or minor. Once again, slowly, this goes like. And there's this whipping your slide into the note sort of thing, like singing the note. You have to just practice doing things like. right? It's not just like placing your slide here and going, it's like, my notes, there was a teeny bit of pitchiness there, but I'll sacrifice it for the moment because there is this energy that we get when we throw our slide around. It's just like Mariah belting it. You know, we really need to put that into our slide playing. At least work on it by working on all these runs, okay? So that's the melody, the verse and the chorus of Always Be My Baby by Mariah Carey, sort of adapted for slide guitar. And just getting to the initial point of the whole video, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and just play freely. I'm going to be in E major, but I want to just show you some of the, influence that learning this sort of thing can have on your playing. I'm going to be using the same batch of notes, but I'm not thinking Always Be My Baby as much as I'm just thinking E slide guitar now. Here's how practicing all that might rub off on your playing.